So.
Well, they haven't either. But now you have.
Yeah.
Exclusive club.
Indeed. Apparently the knife round is live. Let's watch it because I'm bored. Let's look at the knife rounds. Oh, producer Reese's lying to me apparently. It's like it's live, but it's not actually live. So he's just trolling me. Always trolling me. It's been a while since producer Reese has blown something up though. That was a few studios ago where we would just live on stream and we heard an explosion.
Back in Soho, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had a studio above a floor of 2 floors of fashion chicks. That wasn't a bad situation, that's for sure.
It's definitely not the worst office I've been to.
Yeah, we actually went out with a bunch of them once, and some of them got wrecked. I had to send some home in a taxi because they were throwing up everywhere, and the security wanted to throw them out of the club.
Jesus,
that was interesting.
Drinking with esports people.
Yeah,
it's not easy.
Those Twitch credit cards, man, they're dangerous.
Oh, they're lethal. I mean, anyone who's ran into, well, anyone from Twitch knows that.
Yeah, esports has basically retired me from drinking.
Well,
I'm just done.
That's a common line amongst people who work in esports. Never true though.
Oh no, it's true for me.
Okay.
It's true for me. When you go to the extreme limits that Counter-Strike casters do with drinking.
I'm just gonna say that Matt has said that multiple times. Henry has said that multiple times. I'm not sure how true it is. We'll see. We'll see how long you're able to hold it.
Yeah, I've heard Matt has retired. No, I'm done. I'm so done. It's all over for me.
There's always a chance that it come back.
I'm retired from the alcohol.
Oh.
I'll let you cast the knife round.
Oh, it's over.
Oh, never
James.
mind. There's me trying to get the break.
No, but G2 winning the knife, which is a tiny bit worrying for Virtus.pro. We didn't get to see too much of their T side yesterday because they had a pretty shaky CT side, but normally their T side isn't their strongest suit on Overpass either. And we talked about this yesterday, the fact that for the better part of it, VP haven't really tried to play Overpass all that much as of late. So this might be one of their things. Obviously, well, this is G2's map pick, but the fact that Virtus.pro lets it go through might be a bit of a warm up for the major coming up, or the ECS finals coming up as well.
G2 going for the same CT pistol that we saw from Virtus.pro yesterday on Overpass. It's going to put the numbers game over towards B, but Neo has left them in a situation where Virtus.pro, they have opportunities to rotate towards the A site here, but they're going the long way, literally. So will they get there in time? 2-man rotation coming in for G2 with their man advantage. Some grenades being deployed, Snack still lurking, trying to choke off any rotation, but now they're 2 men down, up over towards the truck. Not going to let this bomb go down, nothing but heads being popped here by G2. Very solid pistol round from them.
Yeah, and yesterday what we saw with, well, Godsend and Virtus.pro in that pistol round is that everything turned into just a complete brawl in the middle of nowhere. In this scenario, Virtus.pro had such a passive positioning that only Neo gets caught out, but they're playing so passively with the 4 others that they're not really in a position to actually pounce off of the fact that G2 are out of position on A. So you see the entire rotation coming through the entire map back into A for G2 before VP has actually a shot at getting towards that A bomb site.
Virtus.pro on the force by moving the T's through connector.
One smoke on Neo. Might line for Optimus Prime to try to get block that off so they can get an easy bomb plant. I have 2 pop flashes coming in from Pasha and Taz to just allow them to get up on that site. Shoxy already roaming around, just gonna get found out by Snacks, but is immediately traded by Scream. All right, now a lot of aggressive movement coming out from G2, and they're just finding Virtus.pro players right and left, and well, taking the fight to them.
Still opportunity for Virtus.pro to win this. UMP picks up onto Taz, and they can rotate. Indeed, the bomb's rotating towards B. Bomb site, Barley trying to get there as well.
Taz has managed to pick up a UMP as well in this. So honestly, I'd say that, well, the weaponry is better for Virtus.pro.
So far, so good. Taz heavily tagged. Can't make it around the corner. Scream with a patient burst at distance with the MP9. But he's on 30 HP versus Barley. Not sure what 1 bullet of damage to the chest does with Tech9, but we might find out soon enough. Barley just walking into the angle though, and that will allow Scream to get the kill. Just about hanging on for G2.
Just about. I mean, luckily for them, Scream was the one to pick up the majority of frags, so he's gonna obviously rack up quite a bit of cash, but it's gonna require some effort to actually replenish here. See, after they buy up, and yeah, exactly. The buy coming in for VP, having a pretty successful run at it. Getting a bomb plant down, killing 4 members. They're just going to take their chances here. Actually going to have Neo drop an AK over to Snacks. And Snacks actually going to throw that to someone else. Now he's going to pick it up, but yeah, there we go. Finally buys armor. Now we're going to look to see whether or not, well, how VP are going to run this. If they're actually going to send their AKs first to try to find a pick. We did see Immortals do something similar yesterday, but they just ended up throwing that away and leaving bolts all the way along towards that B bomb site on Mirage with an AK. But all his teammates dead. And again, aggression coming out from G2. Didn't really work out in that last round. Actually caused them way more harm than it should have.
Scream will hear the footsteps. Can tell his teammates that some people are going towards A, and that might position more G2 players towards A. We've got Smith having a look around the toilet, seeing what's going on. And Scream now coming in for a flank. He's got to be careful though, because if there is a rotation, there's a second player towards B in Bali, and there's a chance he could start moving towards the A position. Normally you see just a 1 lurker towards the B bomb site. I do wonder if Scream will go for a kill straight away. Should hear Bali strafing. There we go, the information play, and there's the first kill. Does he expect second play though? Oh, not going to check properly. That's going to be a trade. Pasha's running out of a grenade in his hand. He'll get taken down. 3 versus 3. Shock trying to avoid the flashback, but he can't do it. Gets a spray in the right place, but Snack still gets the kill. And Body all this time has been standing here with 1 HP.
I like this from VP though. The fact that they split up the AKs and have Taz and Bialy as their own little duo. Ooh, did not see the head of Body. It's a big kill, but at nade. It's execution style. Down to a 1 versus 2 RPK with 40 HP. Worst situation than Scream was in, you would argue. Neo by the sandbag. Snacks is streaming in for help. He's got an AK as well. Will he go for the pick? They could double peek here, but Neo will do it on his own. That is a disgusting shot with the Deagle. That's brutal. Managed to pick up the AK as well. But I like that from VP. Tech9 in that kind of a situation. Scream obviously thinks he's just playing the same role that Neo did in that first pistol round, where he's just a sole decoy towards that B bomb site to prevent any sort of aggression coming out from the B bomb site. Gets caught out by Taz, opens up a lot of space. And VP still, you know, because they have that AK on Snacks over towards long, they still have a lot of firepower to actually push forward, where otherwise, or other places on the map as well. RPK and Body have gone for a 2-man push towards short, being cleared out, and now they've got Shocks in tow. He smoked off Monster, and this push may continue from G2, but will they go through towards T-spawn or into Connector? Smith moving back from the long position, minute 13. Still lots of time for Virtus.pro to play with. I like that off angle with a 5-7. Haven't seen that one before. I'm not sure if VP has an idea that that G2 have actually bought up. I don't think anyone from G2 has actually shot something yet with an actual weapon. So VP might not be expecting this buy to come in from G2. Oh, the timing, unbelievable. That's horrible for Smiths, but he's in trouble because we've got Pasha on the flank, and that might be the only kill Smiths gets here because Pasha's turning around. There goes Scream, and there goes Smiths as well. Open A bomb site, and now G2 are limited to the rotation, the 3-man rotation through Connector. And Barley's on the flank as well, but he won't be able to see them from his angle. But maybe he can come in and make a save for his side. Neo moving up towards the long position. Should hear Shocks coming in, but Shocks will get the kill regardless. No one in position to do anything about it, but there's Barley from the back, and now things get even more difficult for G2. Uppercase picks up the AWP, but they don't really have a position to save from. They have to, well, choose to push forward or push back. In fact, Barley's gone towards long now, so maybe there is a channel for them to escape. Yeah. Actually ends up being an okay situation for G2 to save in, because initially they didn't really have anything worthwhile saving. They had a FAMAS and 2 5.7s. Like, sure, you can argue the fact that holding onto the armor and the couple of nades they had would have been nice, but it's not really what you want in a situation where you force buy into. But the fact that they managed to pick up that op and to pick up an AK on Shocks as well actually makes it worthwhile. That could have gone horribly wrong, especially with Bialy being on that flank. If he kind of just sat still and the rest of the team actually decided to push towards him, so they would, or so they could set up that sandwich situation, I think that would have been more beneficial for Virtus.pro. But again, their economy wasn't necessarily stable by any means leading up to this, so they just want to play it as safe as possible.
Let's see if they can break into the B bomb side. That seems to be the intention. Bomb left in a passive position. Barley just coming in for the peaks. Got to be careful towards the barrel spot. There's Body. Got a teammate coming in on the side as well. That's Pasha, but he goes down to the pistol. Trades coming in from Bialy, and he will indeed get traded back from Smiths 3 versus 3. They've got opportunities to smoke off these angles. Smoke down to stop Smiths from the graffiti angle for now, but Shox may just be waiting for the plant. Is he going to peek? There's no cover. Oh, yes, there is. Neo. Smiths come jumping in. No frag for him, though. He's got Scream on the high ground, but he's only got a USP. And he will be dispatched of as well. So G2 finally get almost broken, actually. They've still got some money. And indeed, they're going for the buy. They're going to be limited on utility, but they do not want to drop any more rounds to Virtus.pro.
Yeah. Well, they have shown that they're willing to go aggressive, at least in the anti-eco rounds. And given how they have not that much utility, I think that's going to have to be the only option as well. They're going to have to get into the face of VP, not sit back and allow them to actually execute towards the bomb site, because they're going to have no way of actually holding that off. Here we go. Smiths with the aggressive push actually finds 2 frags right away. Well, both of the guys on that A long side do get traded eventually, but it's a lot of damage done. And given, again, the fact that they have so little utility, that's going to almost be favorable. Even though in a situation like this, you'd almost favor the terrorist in any kind of situation. But given where G2 are at, this is actually pretty decent for them.
So much time on the clock for Virtus.pro. Both teams, everyone is spread out. No one is in a trade situation at the moment, so these frags could be crucial. RPK in a important position for his team. He's got Pasha heading his way. Pasha with 2 kills, unanswered kills already so far. Oh, Snacks ready for Shox behind the barrel. That is a big frag, and there goes Body as well. So this RPK, last man standing, got some sound cues to play with. The bomb, which way will it head?
Is he? No, he's not going to hear. He's not going to be able to hear Snacks with the bomb, is he?
No. But I did wonder if Snacks was maybe heading towards Connector, but the high ground, the long area, maybe the safest route.
Oh, well, this is working out perfectly for Virtus.pro. Obviously, RPK is thinking that they've committed to B push because Bialy runs over towards B. Oh, Pasha's going to be in perfect position to just take out RPK unaware.
Straight in ahead. 4th round for Virtus.pro, the force buy from G2. Won't work out, they'll be on $3,000. They have lost 4 rounds in a row, so they'll be back on the big buy at maximum loss bonus after this one, unless something terrible happens.
Yeah. Barring a couple of team kills, they should be alright. But I still like the idea from D2, just realizing and recognizing what kind of situation they find themselves in, going for the aggressive push. That's kind of giving themselves the best opportunity to win the round. That's a nice shot from Neo.
So far, so good. Hopefully this one is a quick one. And we can move on. Taz deploy the early Molotov in the connector position. Now Virtus.pro just trying to find out. 3 people still dangerous for G2. RPK tagged through that angle. I'm still yet to kill someone through that angle.
I think it's in Olafmeister get a couple of frags through there. Doesn't really work out in most of the time. I think people have become aware.
Yeah. We saw some nice, I think it was Snacks going for some wallbangs from CT Spawn
from Optimus
yesterday.
Yeah.
I would like to see more of that later on.
Wouldn't be too surprised if that was the case. You can see he's already wielding the AWP here on the T side.
Yeah, now speaking of AWPs, actually I don't know what Barley was carrying, probably not the AWP. So we'll see if RPK is able to rescue whatever gun is outside Monster. And now Virtus.pro running the clock down against 3. 30 seconds might be enough time to eliminate 3 players. No one checking long low. Where's the crossfire at? Again, 3 people can still be dangerous. Now RPK with 3 HP can entirely go for this.
Yeah, nothing to lose really in this kind of a situation. But obviously he's going to have hit some pretty sick shots if this is going to work out, and VP smartly setting up in a crossfire. And that's the end.
Yeah, more painful than it needed to be.
Yeah, no, definitely for Virtus.pro, they could have avoided some hurt there if they actually just cleared out corners. And it looked like they were setting up for it initially, doing it in a good way, using their Molotovs even though they're 2 men up, and so on going into the bomb site. But
Double AWPs coming out for the G2 side. Shox and Smith. Smith doesn't have a forward position. Maybe he was deploying a smoke grenade. No, he's got his full grenade. So just a bad spawn. he'll be forced to take a more passive angle than the forward angles we normally see. Shocks over towards B for the time being with his AWP. And a very slow approach from Virtus.pro. They know G2 are on the maximum buy, so they are taking a very passive start in all directions. Barley not even outside Monster. In super passive positions, Virtus.pro. But at some point, they're going to need to start moving through the map. I'm not sure how much they've been able to identify in terms of the buy of G2.
And again, pretty much what VP were setting up for and waiting for, the aggression coming from G2. With Bialy taking that passive position, not sure if he actually spotted the fact that Shox had an op and that's why he backed off, but this is giving a lot of space for G2 to actually rotate people around. You can already see that Shoxy's moving over towards that A bomb set because they have body in such a forward position.
Yeah, neither AWP has taken a shot yet, so could be a nasty surprise. Once they see Shox with an AWP, they have to assume that Smith has got one as well. 40 seconds left, so Virtus.pro playing into the unknown, but look at Body's position.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. He's got unsilenced M4 though, so that's something. Oh, the timing. Oh, it's a blind spot. But how many? Oh, he played the information game as well, but they turned around again. So that's going to speed things up for Virtus.pro. 20 seconds remain, and there's only one person on a B bomb site now. That's RPK. He's in the water area, on fire as well. Got support finally coming in from CT Spawn. There's Shox of 1 kill and Scream. So it's working out for G2 so far. 4 versus 2. There's another trade. Neo going down, leaving Pasha alone on the flank. And it may be all too late for Pasha.
Yeah, you can't really walk at this point, Pasha. You kind of have to commit. Yeah, it's a tad too late. Not going to work out. Yeah, the bomb was planted actually open for him, obviously covered by smoke. Will find Smith, so that's an op actually out of the hands of G2, which is pretty big in the current situation they find themselves in. Also, at the brink of being reset as well. If they lose this one, it's going to be pretty bad times for G2.
Yep, that's awkward. Losing the second AWP at the last seconds. Didn't have the money to hunt for the kill. Especially with Virtus.pro winning 5 rounds in a row. Not a big deal, although this is an important round. Most people have run out of money on the Polish side. So maybe their run of rounds is coming to an end. Very forward positioning from G2 across the map. Shox on his own around the toilet. Smiths and Scream, 2-man set up towards along. RPK and Body playing close to Monster at the moment. They can support each other if required.
I like actually this double setup towards Monster. Like, it has an inherent risk in it, obviously, because you leave short very weak, and it's tough to actually do anything with it if VP do a proper execution, but you can basically shut down that entire Monster area pretty easily. Ooh. If you do it together, but yeah.
Through the corner of the wooden panel. Our Body's got a lot to do there. Low health, the bomb sliding in his favor. 3 kills for Body, that's massive! That is monstrous for his side. Still a man advantage, 2-man flank coming in from G2. And the bomb sliding down will buy them some extra time. Shox getting naded, but just needs to hold his angle and allow his teammates to come in from the back. They don't seem expected too much. Here comes Snacks. Oh, Lick's looking away at the wrong time. He had his job to do, looked away. That's brutal timing for him. Pasha coming in on the flank once again. Didn't know where he is though. He hears the smoke go down. And he's forced to run for it. Doesn't have his gun out though. And Scream will take him down. 4-5. And again, the money's running low for Virtus.pro now.
Yeah. And they do get a bomb plant though, and they have, I think it's Pasha who's on 9k.
This is huge from Body.
Should be able to buy it.
Huge.
But that's 2 more kills than he should be allowed to get. The first one, okay. They might not be expecting one guy to play far down towards Monster, but VP definitely shouldn't have too much of an issue of actually trading Body out there in that situation, especially with how much damage the first VP player does to him. Sends him down to 18 HP.
Nice pop flash there from Scream. Not going to peek, not going to face the angle though. So Virtus.pro have still pulled out a quite reasonable buy here.
Yeah, a little bit lackluster in utility, and Neo obviously on that scout. But it's going to be enough to set up for an execution. They have 3 smokes, they have 2 Molotovs. And an A hit looks imminent. If they can even get that far though.
Oh, the shadows again. So unfavorable to the T's in many areas around both sides of these toilets. Neo holding an angle now. There comes a flash from Scream. He's going to have a look. But Neo's only got a scout, so they could go for a 2-man peek here. But his teammates still going to hold the angle behind, just in case.
Neo actually gets Smiths instead.
That's crazy. Scream with 1 HP manages to escape for the time being. 50 seconds on the clock. Only 2 players for Virtus.pro, and they need to retrieve the bomb left in an exposed position.
And even worse, not really that much utility to work with anymore. Went from having 3 smokes to only having 1, so they're not going to be able to cover off a lot of big areas whenever they want to go towards the site. Question is if they might try to well, saving is not really an option either, given how they emptied out their bank as well.
Body has the information. He hears the players running up connector, so he can raise it on to his teammates. Rotations coming in from RPK, and he needs to come fast because Scream's only got 1 HP. Shock's missing the first shot. Flashes coming in, that'll slow things down. But how do Virtus.pro plant the bomb now? There are 10 seconds. It's still a 2 versus 4. Shox and Body getting the last 2 kills almost in unison, and the score is tied up. Money running yet lower for Virtus.pro. This might have to be an eco for them.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to bite the bullet in this case. Not really much else they can do. And they still have, plenty of time to actually make this into a pretty decent T-half. And I think even with that, even with the eco, it's not going to be like G2 has the grandest of opportunities to really bolster up their economy given how expensive their equipment is. Taz, okay. Just burning away half his life before taking a grenade to the face. It's definitely not advisable, and RPK is going to follow that up on Snacks, and well, there's not too much to be expected out of VP on this kind of round. No Kevlar of any sort. We wanted to set up for a B execute with a lot of smokes to try to get a bomb plant down, but with 2 players already down, that's going to be really tough to do. You can already see that Neo's straddling away from that B bomb site. He's going to try to find a different venue here.
Nice. Can buy this time there. No need to push beyond this position. Full team versus 2.
Curious if you actually saw the fact that he dropped the bomb as well. He should have.
Yeah. Well. And they can just wait. Neo has to go to them, otherwise he doesn't get his loss bonus. So he can just sit around and wait for him to serve himself up on a plate. And I don't know where Neo is. Delayed timing to try and avoid the spray. But there's yet more spray. Unfortunately for him, he's running into 3 CTs.
There we go. That's a gauntlet.
I think there was a knife attempt there as well. But there we go. 6-5. G2 after a not great start. It was 5-2 at some point, and now they've made it 5-6 in their favor. And they've got good money in the bank now. So let's see what Virtus.pro can do to clear that out. Virtus.pro come in for the buy. But again, if they lose this, they're straight back to Eco Town. So this is an important round for them as well. Pasha on the AWP. We've seen a lot of it from Snacks recently and by Oli, but
that's just like a musical chair kind of thing, that op on Virtus.pro.
Musical chair op is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that.
Especially when you have quite a few players on that team who can actually use it. It's like when it's musical chairs and not hot potato, in the sense like nobody wants it, but in BP it seems like everybody's comfortable actually picking it up to a certain extent.
It was really fun to see Neo with the AWP.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, G2 go for their push through Monster, and they'll see that absolutely no one is there. I don't think they're at risk of too many sound cues from that position, but again, if they're going to rotate through T-spawn, they need to do it a lot faster if they're going to support their teammates. Virtus.pro, actually, that said, Virtus.pro have gone for a lot of late pushes around the 40-second mark.
Yeah.
Smith's in a one-and-done spot, but he won't get one. And again, that just raises the urgency now. Ooh, Scream is in trouble as well. Can he escape this position? Doesn't have support from his teammates. The Molotov doing great work. They've got to back up before he kills himself. Shock's delivering on the site at the same time. And there's still a man advantage for the CTs. Although RPK is miles away, still in connector. But Body will get the last 2 kills. It's great that you have such a reliable team to hold things down when you've got 2 guys on the longest rotation EU.
Yeah. And luckily for them, it kind of worked out in a way that, well, as you said, Virtus.pro are so slow to actually set up for their execute, because obviously they want to feel comfortable with what they're doing, so they want to get some sort of map control before they commit to their A hits. But the aggression from G2, I'm actually somewhat surprised that we didn't see anyone from Virtus.pro being sat back towards that B bomb site, because it's typical. Like regardless of what team you see playing T-side overpass, they're always going to put one guy towards B to just be the observer in that sense, to have an eye on that area. But this is that's the second time G2 have actually gotten out of the entire B area to clear out Monster and get a ton of information for the rest of their side.
Virtus.pro with a half buy. Neo with the scout. Just talking about him sniping. Ooh, I like this angle now. Ooh, this is interesting. Oh, Smith's not ready for that. The jump as well. He must have been holding the angle for the low ground, but he's going to get ruined by that. I like that's a really nice boost, but so you're hidden by the flower bed. That's really cool from Virtus.pro.
Realize, oh, this is unnecessarily aggressive from Shox. He does have, well, he didn't really actually have anyone covering his angle either, but he's going to get away with it. Finds 2 picks. Well, it's not working out for Virtus.pro. They have 1 smoke left, and it's going to be really tough to get any closer to the bomb site.
RPK very patient, tapping to finish things off. Good stuff. Back on the buy now, Virtus.pro. It's their turn to enjoy a maximum loss bonus.
Yeah, and now they have to make the decision whether or not they actually want to speed up their tempo to on their defaults, or if they just want to slow things down even more to see if there's more aggression coming out from G2. And that's a tough decision to actually make in this kind of a situation. They're actually finally gonna put someone towards that V bomb set though, at least. So that's the start. But Taz is pretty much alone here and is already taking out to 44 HP, having to run through that Molotov.
Yeah, he's got Snacks holding an angle on connector though, which is always important when you're alone towards short B. And here comes the push again. Barley's in trouble because he's got the bombs. If he goes down here, and he will, that is a huge problem for Virtus.pro. That kind of thwarts their plans. Haven't moved much just yet, and it will be important that Taz now has that short B position. Snacks caught with his knife out, and that's a very unexpected position in fairness. Neo coming in as well, but this is falling apart for Virtus.pro.
Yeah. The worrying thing is that it's the same thing. G2 pushing out on that B bomb side, just finding so much success each and every time, because obviously with VP not having had any people towards B, they haven't known where the aggression has come from, if it's come through short and the side tunnel is there, or if it's gone through Monster. So Taz basically having a 50-50 shot at finding someone pushing aggressively.
This has descended into madness. Bodies in T-spawn. There are 2 smokes down and 3 people playing around the smokes. This is crazy. You don't see an overpass round like this very often.
You really don't. It seems like more and more CT sides are taking a shine to actually playing that B bomb side very aggressive. Seeing it more and more. Well, not a lot Pasha can do in this kind of situation, and it seems like G2 are not necessarily super keen on hunting either. Just want to shut off that entire area so there's no way Pasha can actually get to a bomb. And if he wants to save that AK, then it seems like G2 are okay with that for now.
Yeah, he'll have 3900 after the next round. Anyway, so he can still buy his AK and flashbang. Rest of his team buying rest of the utility. RPK sitting on $16,000 for the last round.
Not bad.
Oh yeah, it's the last round, of course. Well, there we go. Rest of his team can buy stuff up.
Pretty impressive comeback here from G2, and I like the fact that they have had a consistent theme throughout their CT side, and that's been aggression. And it's been awkward for Virtus.pro to handle. Even the eco rounds that we saw coming out from G2, even though they lost quite a few members, they did catch a few players from VP off guard.
Shox, please, going back to the well, of course. Got his teammate running ahead while he holds the angle.
But again, like, this is creating so much space. Okay, Shox kind of just
Taz should hear something, though.
Yeah, that was the thing. Shox is just kind of ruining all of the hard work that Body's done by sneaking past there, by being the elephant in the room.
But again, Body's going to lose the bomb again. Oh, but Taz he could get a 2K here if he is smart. Oh man, RPK, the timing is unreal. This is a brutal way to lose a round and getting smoked off in T-spawn. They're smoked off in T-spawn.
We've seen this before. We've seen this before.
We have. That is...
Which is definitely not something I was expecting before the game started, to say.
That is bananas. I mean, no one is on A. Scream's probably holding the back from the B bomb site. Pasha's still in long. He's miles away. He's just walking around.
30 seconds left. Bomb still in T-spawn. Pasha's already cleared out.
He's going for the fake. He's throwing a flash towards long. He's selling the fake, guys.
Optimistic.
The fake is being sold. I don't think anyone's in earshot of that flashbang.
Would have been hilarious to see a 5-man rotation coming out from G2 at that point. Well, he's already been spotted, so this round is over.
That is quite a round from G2. Even Dual Elite's coming out.
So was that 5 rounds in total we saw them doing that. 4 rounds they pushed aggressively in total.
I don't recall, but it was a fair few rounds. That's a lot of rounds to push B.
A ton of rounds, and we said it after the second time that, well, VP, they kind of need to realize that they have to do something differently, and they were never able to actually see the guys coming through monsters. Bialy was always there after the fact, after they've gotten through. And in that situation, in the very last round, he actually spots Shocks as well, so he should have been able to release some information to Taz as well, but...
I mean, that might be a hard counter to the way Virtus.pro used their lurker towards the B-bomb site. Anyway, you've got Pasha towards the balloon area, going to get taken down. And G2 maybe going for a fast play towards long. Snacks is in there for the flank, though, and he's got the range for it as well. But they're moving into toilets just out of range. Neo's got his opportunity now. 3 men, they don't want to line up one by one, but they're getting surrounded by Virtus.pro players. Another pop. Shocks has a lot to do, and he is in the middle of nowhere, which is to his strength, if he can open a door without being heard.
Yeah, I don't think Taz is going to have heard that, but he does seem to have an idea.
Well, there it is. Virtus.pro win the round that they needed. Although I think they're going to be hard pressed to have the successive B pushes that G2 did. So I do wonder what is up their sleeve once the buy rounds come in. But for now, it's about the anti-ecos. G2 have not bought anything just yet. Let's see, we've got second nines. Okay, they've gone for the force buy.
What we saw yesterday from Virtus.pro wasn't necessarily the poor CT play in the sense that they were doing a lot of mistakes. It was more them not hitting shots as well as Godsent were doing in that situation. So you know, they have the foundation for a solid CT side here, which is is encouraging.
4 players on long. The range isn't going to work out in favor of Virtus.pro. Although they have tagged the players up, and now they've got a nice crossfire. Pasha's patient play with the FAMAS doing good work, but now we're in down to 2 versus 2. We've got a scout and an MP9. The MP9's going to have to put in great work here. Nice spray, running out bullets, so there's a headshot. Now these are very dangerous waters indeed. Shocks going for the fake. Neo non-believer though. We'll see if he commits this time. There it is. Close range, Tech 9, the jumping Neo gets headshot immediately. Shocks is just too good. How does he find that angle with the first shot?
I don't know. Shocksy.
He's so good. It's crazy.
But then that's something in theory that shouldn't work for you. You take weapons that are not necessarily great at long range up against a team that has bought rifles, and you're going to the spot on the map where you have the longest distance between you and your opponent. And it still works out for G2 somehow. It should not be possible.
Virtus.pro force buying straight back. Deagle, so far so good. Smiths goes down, pop flashes as well. Taz with a CZ. Still fighting in this area. Eventually they'll lose 1 player. But the damage has been done. 4 versus 3. Taz getting some more tagging in. Snacks on the flank now. This is getting very tricky for G2.
The fact that he's gotten past Shocks unnoticed.
Oh, lovely. Maybe just knowing the habits of Virtus.pro. Very good check there. Or they knew where a hole might have been, perhaps.
Very possible.
Yeah. Maybe they didn't have anybody towards toilets, so assume there is a flank and then deal with it. Neo with P250. There is a CZ at his feet, but if he picks it up, then the gun that falls on the floor will give his position away, and he might have to reload as well. So better to keep his pistol out. To no avail though, versus the MAC-10 of Shocks. The way he holds the MAC-10, I thought it was actually a knife. I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm so confused. Anyway, Bialy with the CZ. Still work to be done. 12 dangerous bullets in that.
He's expecting G2 to go aggressive here. So holding himself off, and he can hope to get maybe 1 frag here in this kind of a situation, but actually having a successful restake is going to be more or less impossible. He's going to find Shocks and a MAC-10, so that's going to give him an opportunity to actually get some money here if he can find a kill with this.
Oh no! They're both tagged now, they're both tagged. RPK, he can't peek. Oh man, there's no deadly grenade. Scream just holding the angle for double peek. That was weird. Because I saw the health on Scream. He had the AK and he was heavily tagged, and RPK had the MAC-10. So
yeah,
I ideally want RPK with the AK since he has more health at the range. But there we go. 12-6. G2 retain. Virtus.pro on a hard eco now. Triple MAC-10s coming out. Always nice to see. Love me some MAC-10.
I'm still not used to how that third-person view model looks with people with Mac-10s.
Yeah, it looks sideways, doesn't it?
Yeah, just the stereotypical drive-by way of holding a weapon.
I think it's the Mac-10 which is grossly inaccurate in real life. Ooh, Body and Smiths, this is awkward now. Might want to give the AK to a high health player, Smiths. There goes RPK as well. It's only Taz towards long though, and they'll just leave Scream to finish things off, but he's also going to get headshot, so Virtus.pro did a good job.
Did a lot of damage for sure.
Yeah.
Unfortunate to not get more kills out of it, but at this point it wouldn't really mess up the economy of G2 all that much. And as you can see, the economy of VP themselves isn't that great. Very limited utility, and in many ways a similar situation as where G2 found themselves after the pissed around in the first go of things. And that's when we started to see the aggression coming out from G2 with weapons. Just curious to see whether or not VP are going to do the same. They didn't have any sort of tendencies to do so, like have any sort of aggressive pushes versus Godsend, barring their eco rounds. So would be surprised actually if we saw them start running around the map. For now, it's a fairly passive hold.
Snacks around the toilets, Taz around graffiti. 3 people around the B bomb site from Virtus.pro. Maybe knowing the G2 favor this. Ooh, Taz spotting some heads. They need some rotation. One player's coming in, but what can Bialy do in the meantime? T's pushing through the smoke. That's not going to work out. And now it's CT's time to have a nice spray down towards B bomb site. The reload can't get in fast enough though. Smiths with a lovely headshot there. Here's a player on the low ground. Can he take Taz down though? Can't do it. Shots going down at the same time. Virtus.pro not out of this yet.
Taz being a proper hero in that round. The one smoke they had on that B bomb site lands perfectly to isolate RPK, and the second player from G2 coming up short gives Bialy the opportunity to have a 1v1 situation, and anyone else who's coming through that smoke for G2 has to well, first off, look towards Bialy, which gives Taz enough time to get a couple of easy shots in, and at that point you have no idea where to look for G2. A very solid job overall, and well, much better buy this time around for VP, but
this is a must-win for VP. There's no money if they lose this round, and with G2 on 13 already, that could be a fatal mistake. So far, so good.
Taz has spotted it out, though.
Nice Molotov down from Taz. How many can he get? We know he likes his barbecues. Just the one for him, though. Snacks with a very nice angle there. Scream looking for it. The smoke is down, and the plant is coming in. There goes Pasha, 3 versus 3. RPK on the flank, but maybe Snacks is in a position to do something about it. Although I'm sure they know he's there from the earlier engagements. RPK just about getting that kill. Last 2 in CT, Barley and Neo. Smiths on the site, maybe the first engager there. Oh, Scream goes down. That's a great angle through the fence. But how much more can Virtus.pro do here? Shorty comes in, they see Smiths now, but Neo goes down. What can Barley do about it? Not much. Lovely work from Smiths. 3K from him in that round. That puts G2 in a very strong position.
Indeed it does. And like you mentioned, no money to be found on VP's side as well. And well, they have the option of having a really, really terrible forced buy, or letting G2 get up to match point. And that would also leave VP in a situation where they don't really get the best of buys either. But they're going to opt for pretty much the highest probability chance they can have, which is holding on to their money for now.
There it is. Neo dispatched of nothing but USPs, and Virtus.pro are going to be playing against match point in the first map of many for Europe today. Train is coming up next between these two sides. We'll see if it's coming soon or if Virtus.pro can hang on after this round.
And Train should be a really good matchup for these two teams. For now, Pasha trying to see if he can find a frag to take with him.
Bomb, of course.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, G2 doesn't really need more money than they already have. They're not that greedy. Oh, here we're going to see the buy. And again, it's it's not a pretty sight. No real utility to speak of. And in a situation like this, it's going to be extremely hard for them to actually hold on to it for far into the round. Mag 7 on Snacks, and Famas and Bialy. And a high tempo coming out from G2.
Yeah, they want to finish this one quickly. Neo and Barley over towards B. No third man on B for Virtus.pro on this occasion. So far, so good for the G2 side. That's an open B bomb site. No, got rotation coming in from Connector. Seen already as Shox gets taken down through the tunnel. Body and Snack's heading towards Monster. See who gets the flank first. Snack's hiding on the corner of the smoke, and Body may walk in and get flanked immediately by Snacks. That is so bizarre. Snack's spotted though, and he can't get the kill. Team kill coming in from Smiths. And now we have Taz towards the tunnel. He gets the frag, but look how tagged he is. Look how tagged RPK is. Scream might have a lot to do here. Graves coming in, but Scream has perfect timing. Now it's Passion versus 2 with 7 HP, and he won't do it either. 16-7, a strong overpass from G2.
Definitely, and really liking actually very fun to see G2 having the aggressive play on the CT side is something that they do on a couple of other maps as well. It's always fun to see aggressive CT side plays work out, and in a different manner than what you normally see, because the standard way of playing overpass CT side is that you put the aggression on towards the A bomb site, so you have an op picking aggressively towards playground, or you have that duo tag team pushing up long to see if you can get the first frag here or there, which, to be fair, they did as well. But the fact that they were so adamant about sending Body out through Monster, getting him a lot of information, just making sure that they can make safe rotations and whatnot for the team was really fun to see.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that was very entertaining CT side from G2 indeed. Those pushes were really awesome, and I do wonder if they will vary depending on their opponent, but they seem to have the jump on Virtus.pro on that particular half.
And to be fair, it's not an uncommon way of playing the T side. The way VP did it as well, with having only a sole guy towards that B bomb site to hold off anything. So if they can find the timings, or look into their opponents to see if there are tendencies that the guy Team A puts left towards B, then he's gonna shy away after X amount of seconds. If they can see patterns like that with their teams, then this is definitely something they can do versus pretty much anyone.
Train is coming up after the break between these two sides, so stay tuned. We'll see if Virtus.pro can get one back.